As far as the future is concerned, I have been given no indication of who owns the undeveloped lots and when or at what point in time those lots will be sold and additional building will ensue to build out the rest of the community. But for the most part, what we're working on is we're continuing to take the concerns that we have with our accounts receivable and work them down through the legal process at this point in time. Let's see. Now, on the second page, it's by last name.
Yeah, I'm not listed.
You're not listed?
No.
Okay. What is your last name?
Sims, S-I-M-S.
Okay. Are you new?
April.
Okay, you should be on there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
just. Yeah, so you should be ready. I'll tell you what, put your name down here with your address, and I'll do a research on it.
Okay.
Okay. The next sheet is the income and expense sheet. And again, this information is available. We don't normally just publish it, but we can. If you are concerned on a quarter-to-quarter basis, these financials come out monthly. We can do some things. There's some other things we're going to talk about, new additions or better communication in the association. But the bottom line is what the last column on this shows under the annual is basically what the budgeted amount was for 2011 relative to funding or expenses, revenue and expenses. And this report gives you a snapshot of how we're doing, whether it's month to month or quarter to quarter, as far as whether we're behind in our collections efforts for assessments or whether we're spending more money. A couple of the things that are of note, if you go down on administrative and look at legal fees, we actually budgeted $2,500 and we spent $5,400. We had a number of issues this year that the board wanted clarification on. I wasn't all that pleased with the clarification that we got from the attorney, so we've re-budgeted that figure for next year, and we'll go in another direction or basically leave certain things as is. And a lot of it had to do with property tax, and a lot of it had to do with taking further action against the membership. There was a couple of things that were done in the last year and a half that were questionable relative to how the documents are written. One of them was shutting off water on delinquent homeowners. And there's no real clear language on that. So we had to basically get with the attorney to try and figure out what his interpretation is and basically what would happen if we continue with the practice. And based on his point of view, we're basically holding off on that practice. And what we're choosing to do instead is basically just pursue them legally. And again, not for the people in this room that we're really worried about because you're all members in good standing, but for your neighbors, and I say this at every annual meeting that I have, if you're having a conversation with one of your neighbors and it comes up, the subject comes up that they're behind, and they haven't received notice from legal, please ask them to contact me and to get an understanding of their situation, and we can work with the board of directors, a very compassionate group of people, to try and work something out. Now, I will tell you this, we've gone through several gyrations of being compassionate and gotten slapped around, which happens. People say, I'm going to do this, and then they don't do anything. But we're still, we still try and, go for the greater good and see how that works out. But the bottom line is we spent a little bit more on legal than we wanted to. However, most of the other expenses were in check. And again, a number of things weren't done that we do budget for. Although one of the things relative to Pine Straw application is going to be done, and the goal is to still have it done this year, so in the next couple of weeks.